What's going on, everyone? Alright, so today I'm working on something that I really don't like working on. Probably one of the things I hate most working on cars is brake lines. Running brake lines, making brake lines, doing anything with brake lines. Not a fan of it. If I could, I would run all soft lines to everything, steel braided. So I've been pushing off these brakes for, I don't know, a year and a half. But now we're at the point of where I need them, I gotta get them done, and I want to drive the car. So all the brake lines are pretty much run in the car. The ones to the rear are run. The ones we showed you are on the rear axle are done. The crossover from left to right is done. I have a couple here that I gotta flare. Two of these one goes from the reservoir or the master to line lock, and then another one goes from the line lock to the front wheel, and then the crossover one goes from the line lock to the other wheel, and this one goes from the master to the proportioning valve. So I mean, it's just a lot of crap, and it's a lot of nonsense, and I can't stand it. This car came with absolutely nothing in it. It came with a brake pedal dangling, I think. I don't remember there being anything on the firewall. I know there was no brake lines, none of that. So you're starting from scratch. I think it only had a brake pedal. Now I've been hemming and hawing about what I want to do with this brake pedal because I didn't want to spend the money. I decided to nix that idea, do it right, do it once, do it right. Alright? So what I did was I bought on a Maximum Motorsports website, and they have a really good Mustang manual brake kit. It's about 200 bucks shipped. I'll tell you right now, it's worth every single penny. I hemmed and hawed on that kit for over a year and was just going to drill my stock pedal and do it that way, but after receiving this kit, it's a really, really nice kit. When you get the kit, it comes with a firewall plate, which is really nice. Wearing a black sweatshirt and it's a black piece. It's a really nice piece. It also comes with your new brake lever, and this thing is heavy duty. I mean, when I mean severe heavy duty, this thing you could beat someone to death with this thing. It's so hard, and it's got the pins at the correct ratios. What's also really cool is the adjustable pedal for it. Pedal, brake arm, and it's got 4 mounting holes, and you go up or down, or you can go in and out, which is really that I like that part the most. And Maximum Motorsports is more of like a road racing type of company, and they tell you can adjust this for more heel toe action if you're like autocrossing or something of that nature. I like the fact that you can move this. If anybody's driven a stock Mustang, you know that brake pedal's high as hell, and it's just not a comfortable pedal. So it's going to be nice to be able to drop this pedal down and drop it back and get this thing where you want it. And when you do that, since it's manual now, the pedal's going to be heavier than your power assist, but it's not unbearable. So if you put the pedal down, the pedal travel will be longer, but the effort will be less. And vice versa. You put it up high, the pedal travel will lessen, but the effort will be harder. I don't care about having, a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch of extra brake travel. I've never driven the car, so I said it to that off the rip. It's, I'll deal with it. That's what it is. But for guys that are different, it's obviously something you'll have to get used to driving. It also comes with a beefy brake rod here. This thing is really beefy, and it's got a nice joint on it, nice spherical end on it. It slides over the pedal, slides over the pedal, slides over the pedal. It's a really nice tight fit. And it's supposedly machined so it doesn't wiggle in the master like your stock arm. I guess. I don't know. I don't have a stock arm to compare it to. Now, it comes with all the hardware you need, except for, I think, like the bushing and the clip that's in your factory pedal. You got to take it out of your pedal and put it in this with the bolt to bolt that back in your pedal box. It also comes with a brake light switch and a mounting bracket for your brake light switch. And it's also tricky. It also comes with a bolt and a provision for a pedal stop. We're not going to be using any of this, as my brake light switch is pressure, signal turn on, whatever the hell you want to call it. I can't remember. And that's in my line lock. So once it sees pressure, it'll turn the lights on. This also bolts to a factory column. We don't have a factory column anymore, so you can't use that setup. This is just stuff you got to work around when you're building cars like this, when you're changing so many parts from different manufacturers. Stuff's not going to work out the way they say. It also comes with a damn good set of instructions in here. I read through the whole instructions just to see if there's anything I was missing, and they're very good instructions. I mean, you could do this job to a T following these instructions. If you're mechanically inclined, you don't need the instructions really. It's pretty straightforward on how to change the brake pedal out and all of that stuff. So they recommend, now on any braking system, every braking system is different, and you will need a different size master. I have stock front and rear discs on this car off an SN95, or the fronts are 99 GT, the rears are 95 GT, I don't remember. But they recommended 93 Cobra Master. I knew this a while ago. I've had this, and what's really cool about the Cobra Master is the brake fittings are on the inside of the Master, towards the engine. Some people with bigger engines might have a problem with that, but if you always see the Strange Master and stuff, you gotta beat up your strut tower or drill a hole in your strut tower to put this front brake line in. That's not something I like to do. With the LS, I got gobs of room to fit it, so that's nice. And Maximum Motorsports recommends getting a OE type of Master, so if it breaks down and you're in Maryland and it breaks, you can go to AutoZone and get another one. It's not like a $300 Willwood that starts leaking your SOL. You can't do anything about it. I got a Willwood proportioning valve here because you probably shouldn't use your stock one. You can. I choose not to. This is better in my opinion. You can fine tune it, and it's cheap. I made a bracket that bolts on the driver's side of this, so it'll be right next to my Master. That's the whole kit. I mean, obviously without these two things. That's the whole Maximum kit. It's a really nice kit. I wish I didn't procrastinate and I bought it sooner and got this over and done with. It's really nice. I had the UPR firewall plate on there before, and I mean, it's literally just a block of aluminum anodized, and this is actually nice and machined and everything looks good. So I took this off for this. Also, when you're making these brake lines, you have to decide which type of brake lines you are going to do. I prefer using AN stuff. That's just what I like to do. You can flare lines with double bubble flares, and I don't even know what factory fittings take. I don't know if it takes a double bubble flare while I'm saying that, double bubble, and all that jazz, but that's something you can do, and that's your prerogative. Like I said, I prefer the AN stuff. It's just easier and nicer in my opinion. Yes, it's a little bit more money. True. Is there any pros to it? I have no idea. You know, people use it all the time and there's no problems with it. Plus, all your fittings like this will just be easier to do, so you don't have to have adapters everywhere and adapters everywhere if it's all 3-in. I just got in my new 37-degree flare tool from Rigid. It was about time I bought my own. I kept trying to borrow one, and you know, when you try to borrow tools, it's a pain in the ass. I've bought pretty much every single tool I've ever needed when I needed it, and I pushed this off because it's a little pricey. It's $110 for this, but it is worth it. One of the easiest ways to start doing this is to take out your seat. It just gives you so much more room, especially if you have factory seats. Get this out of here. Move your steering wheel. Well, it looks like I gotta take the damn pedal box out of the car. That's not something I really wanted to do. So I got this pain in the butt pedal box out of the car. Ridiculous. Alright, there's your... Oh! And that's one of the things you gotta keep with these bushings. Well, there's your old pedal. Put that to the side. Bushing. They just slide right back in. Sleeve. What you want to do is they tell you right in the instructions, this is your old mounting hole. Alright, you're going to go to that mounting hole now. Alright, so after spending the better part of 3 hours, or 2 hours, whatever I spent, trying to flare the end of this, oh, I already cut the piece off and threw it away, piece of stainless. This was the brake line that went from the front to the back of my car. For whatever reason, it wouldn't flare. I don't know why, but it was not fun because it was behind the strut tower, so I was struggling the whole time to try to flare this line. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm sick of it. I can't flare it. And I wasn't 100% happy with the way I ran this in the back. I got up into the drive shaft tunnel with it, thinking it was a great idea. Thought about it and went, I lose my drive shaft, I'm going to lose my brakes. So, this crap is garbage. Since I'm done fighting making brake lines, I went and ordered me a roll of Nycop. And careful when you click with your mouse, or else you end up with a second roll as well. If you guys, a lot of you don't know, it's a 25-foot coil at 3/16. Now it's called Nycop, well, that's the nickname for it. It's nickel copper brake line. It's supposed to be super flexible, super easy to bend, and it doesn't look like complete shit with regular brake line. I mean, this stuff is super easy. This ain't nothing like stainless. I'm not gonna bore you with putting this brake line in because it's freaking boring. Alright, now that you got your booster, or I'm sorry, your master in, you see it's all in nice and tight. Tighten it down pretty good. You can see it's all bolted in. The rod's sitting inside the master there. This brake, make sure you tighten your upper bolt. You can go ahead and put your steering column back in for the 14th time now, because you've had it out like an idiot 14 times. And you could also start running your other brake lines and whatever else needs to be done. Mine are pretty much all done. I just got to tighten everything up. I got to run a couple over there. I have one that goes from my line lock up through the cowl and down through the other side. That's not made, it's not flared. The only problem I'm having with that is, now that I put the downpipe in, brake line's pretty much sitting on the downpipe. Looks good from here. Not necessarily a fan from here. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet with that. Okay, I didn't like the line, hose, tube, brake line, whatever you want to call it, that went from the back of the master to the line lock. I just didn't like the way I ran it. I ran it through the upper hole in the skirt over there, but I made a big hole on the bottom of the skirt at the frame rail to run all my fuel lines through, and there's enough room. So I'm going to run this, make a new one, and run it through the bottom there. Now I just flared this, but you saw me cut it, and I forgot to put anything on it. No big deal. Flared it from the other side. But It'd always be a perfect flare that you mess that up on. Okay, so you're getting all your lines made. This one I just redid again. I didn't like the way it went. If you're noticing a theme here, I don't like any way they're going. The thing you should do when your line ends, when you terminate your line to the point of where it's going to go to the soft line, you can't just leave this dangling because it'll eventually fatigue and just break. You got to put a bulkhead there with a tab. So this is what I'm using right here. You know, if you're not doing custom lines, you'll still have your factory tab up here somewhere that you can run your, you know, factory style brake hoses through. All my brake lines are custom. Even my rubber hoses, well, they'll be steel braided hoses, will be custom made. There's a great company called Finishing Lines. I think I've told you this before. He will make you whatever you need, whatever you want. It's a good gig, and in colors too. So, like, mine will be probably black and silver, or all black, or black and teal, whatever you want to call it. But you gotta have this. I'm gonna weld this to the frame rail. Weld this tab to the frame rail. Now remember, if you're welding on the car, undo your battery, undo your computer. It could save you a lot of headaches. You know, you don't want that welder arcing through. I'm gonna TIG weld mine on because I still haven't gotten a tank from my MIG since I emptied it. I've been using the TIG for everything. So I'm gonna figure out where this goes. I'm gonna see if this line will support it where it needs to be, if I could just tighten it up. And well, now the last part of your brake pedal, or Maximum Motorsports manual brake kit, is your pedal. The pedal is adjustable. The pedal does move. It's pretty. So bolt and washer. I'll probably go through that way. I don't want my gas pedal catching. I don't want my foot catching the edge of this bolt. So run your bolts this way through it. Bolt with a washer. Washer. And washer. Nylon. I really wish those bolts were black. They're polished, and I kind of wish they were black. That would have made a much nicer kit, I think. All bolted in. Done. Good to go. That is the install of your Maximum Motorsports manual brake conversion. Like I said, it's a great kit. That's a really nice kit. I am so glad I bought that. That's that. That's a wrap on that one. I'm going to get this up. Sorry I've been a little slacking with the video. I know it's a little bit longer than normal. I've been working like crazy at work. My whole kitchen is torn out right now, and we're 7 weeks away from birth of my child. So things are hectic right now. I really haven't had time to work on the car. I get like a half hour here or there. But I'm doing this for you guys. So get out in that garage, work on your hot rod, get something done, crack a cold beer. Have a good night, guys.